I'd like to welcome everybody. Looks like it's 6 o'clock, so go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is our March Board of Commissioners regularly scheduled board meeting. So we welcome you. We're glad that you're here with us. If you're on Zoom, thank you for joining as well. When we get to the questions portion during the guest comments, if we have any guest comments, we'll make sure to give you an opportunity to comment as well. So thank you for logging in. If you would join me, we're going to open up with an invocation to get started. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for keeping us safe last night and helping protect us from storms and all that could have came our way, but we're very thankful that you didn't, that we were able to enjoy a safe night. We thank you for bringing us all here safely. Ask that you guide us, give us wisdom, give us just your hand of direction in all that we say and all that we do and in all the decisions that we make. We thank you for an incredible community that's came out and to honor not only members of our community, but to show concern for what's going on in their community. And we just thank you for that, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Mr. Harvey, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So as we look over the agenda, I do not have any amendments to the agenda. Do either of you have any that need to be brought forward? Okay. Then we'll move on to our employee recognition. So I'd like to turn the floor over to Commissioner Denny for that.
Do we have Paul Elder with us from the fire department?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, come on up. It's been my honor, ladies and gentlemen, to honor our long-term employees. We have some wonderful ones here at Pickens County Government, and this guy has been here 10 long years, and we're very proud of you, and thank you for what you do. It's not easy, it's a job, that's for sure. Have you seen a lot of changes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you came with 2 commissioners, and the board of commissioners. A lot of changes. Well, do you have any family that can come take a picture with us?
Not here today.
Well, we'll take one of you. Just, And I'm not sure this one's here. Do we have Christine Scurry here? Sheriff's Department? Okay, we'll do this one.
Okay.
Next.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul, for 10 years. I think you snuck out right whenever you finished with getting it, so right when I sat down to say it. So unfortunately, he's out working, so he's going to serve us tonight. So thank you, thank you. We'll go through the consent agenda. I do believe there's a crowd that's waiting outside, so let's see if, would you step out there and see if the basketball team's on? There's the coach right now. So we've got an honor tonight. I'm going to pull this off while I'm speaking. I hope that y'all don't mind. We've got an honor tonight as the pride of Pickens County that we get to welcome our Dragonettes, or Nets is now the new name, so I show my age there, to come. They were the 7 Quad A region champions and made it to the Elite 8 in the state championship. So I'm going to go through in honor of each player, and I don't know who all you have with us, so I'm going to provide a list of certificates. And,
Okay.
and if you don't mind, I'm going to read off all the names of the players, and I'll let you present them for the interest of time. So, okay, all right. While he's marking this, I'm going to read over a proclamation as well. So I kind of feel really short standing behind my basketball player. I'm going to stand up for this. So this is a proclamation signed by all three commissioners stating, whereas many students participate in worthwhile extracurricular activities while attending Pickens County Public Schools, and whereas the 2020-2021 Pickens High School Nets basketball team has persevered to have 22 wins and only 5 losses in the Region 7 4A champions, advancing to the State Elite 8. Whereas head coach Brandon Thomas, his assistant coaches, the parents, administration, and educators at Pickens High School expressed the highest academic and athletic expectations from students. And whereas it takes tremendous dedication and hard work to successfully balance schoolwork, athletics, and social activities. Whereas the Pickens High School Nets basketball program concentrates on the joy, camaraderie, and skills of the game with all team members and their cheerleaders, managers, and others who contribute to the team's success. And whereas the entire Pickens County community is exceptionally proud of the Pickens High School Nets basketball team. Now, therefore, be it known that the Board of Commissioners of Pickens County, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Friday, March 26, 2021 as Pickens High School Nets Basketball Day, extending congratulations to these high-achieving and successful young people, recognizing their hard work and exceptional talent, therefore signed on this 18th day of March. So we want to say congratulations, thank you, we've enjoyed watching you play, you guys are incredible. It felt like a flashback to the old days of listening to a game on the radio when you traveled to South Georgia and yelling and screaming. So tonight we have with us Miss Lily Simmons. Is that correct? Oh, got them backwards here. Okay. Miss Leslie Tilley. We have Miss Keely Hillhouse, Bella Howell, Jasmine Chastain.
Circle one.
Going the wrong way again, huh? Amanda Nelson, Cassidy Richards, Miss Emma Gleason, Caroline Mullins, Carmen Mullins, Reagan Harwood, and their head coach is right here, Mr. Brandon Thomas. So we just want to say thank you, give you guys all a standing ovation for what an incredible. Come around with the...
Real quick, can I have one of them say
You
something?
sure can.
So I love to pick on the kids, and every time we get an opportunity to make one of them speak, they didn't even know where this building was or what this even is, so this is an educational opportunity. They didn't realize where the commissioner's conference room is, but Reagan was volunteered by her teammates to share it. I'm going to ask her questions so she doesn't have to come up with something. But basically, Reagan, on behalf of the team, if you could just kind of share what it felt like in more than one sentence, if possible, what it felt like to feel the support from the community, because we really did notice all the people that were paying attention and emailing and texting about what we saw. So what was it like as a player to kind of go through that experience and feel that?
It was awesome. We didn't even really realize before the state tournament, I feel like, how many people are really behind us, supporting us, and we're so appreciative of all the support we did receive.
Absolutely. We are going to have a little video at our banquet on the 29th. We'll put that on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff so you can see it. If you came to any of the games, there's some crowd shots. You might see yourself in there at some certain moment celebrating or not. And if you weren't there, you can watch it to see how exciting it was for a couple of the home games. So that'll be coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah. I want to say thank you and present you with this proclamation there so you've got something that you can write. Thank you. Thank you. Can you get us all in here? All right. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Very much. Honestly, that is something I hope we get an opportunity to do every sport, every season, because they gave us an exciting time and played outstanding. So Also want to recognize National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week is April the 11th through the 17th. So we have a proclamation here tonight that we want to go through in advance of that week so that we're prepared. It's whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Pickens County 911 Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and the most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them with information and ensuring their safety. Whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Pickens County 911 have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Pickens County, Georgia, declares the week of April 11th through 17th, 2021 to be National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in Pickens County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and our citizens safe. So I want to thank you. I know we have Ms. Christy Easterwood, who is the head of our 911 communications, Mr. Sloan Elrod, that's Director of Public Safety, and I think Kelly's back there too. There, she's kind of high. Not Kelly, sorry. Lynn. wrong face. But we do have some here with us. They do an incredible job. They do a thankless job. They sit in a dungeon and answer the phone, and when you guys are calling and panicking, they're the ones that are able to stay calm and get help to you. We could not be more proud. I think that honestly the year could be given to our 911 dispatchers, but a week is at least a good start. So we want to say thank you very much for all that you do, and we look forward to celebrating that week with you. I think Jerry said he was wanting to cook all of your food that day, but he didn't. So thank you again. Thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis. So next item on the agenda is old business. I do not have any old business. Do you have any that needs to be addressed? All right, there. Under new business, we do have a de-annexation of a property that we'll go through. It's a de-annexation of 1070 Old Burnt Mountain Road. It's parcel number 029A064005. We've received communication from the city of Jasper stating that the property does not create an island and is at the request of the landowners to de-annex from their property, and it's been requested that we move forward with a resolution. So do I have a motion to accept this de-annexation request?
So moved.
In a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item that we have is our finance report. So Ms. Harvey, we'll give the floor over to you.
The report that you have in front of you today is the report for the period ending February 28th, and that's 2 months of our 2021 fiscal year. The expenditure budget should be at 16% or lower. What we'll look at first is our revenues. The total revenues through this period is $2,392,424, and that's 8.24% of the budgeted revenue. For the expenditures, we have for all the general government functions, the expenditures are $510,092, and that's 12.63%. For the judicial functions, the expenditures are $485,009, and that's 12.32% of those budgets. For the total public safety, expenditures were $2,068,886, and that's 13.91% of those budgets. For the public works budgets, the total expenditures were $467,137, and that's 12.08%. For the health department, the senior center and the MATS program, $16,461, and that's 5.74%. For culture and recreation, $164,280, and that's 14.53% of those budgets. For the housing and development functions, $105,876, and that is 11.86%. So the overall expenditures for the general fund budgets is $3,817,751, and that's 13.15%. And so it's about 3.5% under the budget, or the level that where it should be at this time of the year. For the enterprise funds, water department expenditures are at $194,862, and that's 6.99%. And the airport expenditures were $85,885, and that's 14.26% of their budgeted expenditures for the year. The line item budgets were distributed to the department heads and elected officials on March 11th, and I have copies of all those if you would like to look at those at any time. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so next item on our action items is to approve the minutes. I believe the minutes were emailed to each of you for the following meetings: our regular meeting on February the 18th, our work session meeting on March the 4th, and our call meeting on March the 4th. Have you all had a chance to review those minutes? Do I have a motion to accept them? And a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item that we have is a resolution to allow for the prepayment of Valorem taxes by taxpayers. This is based off of a state law that was passed in 2019, I believe. It took effect in the summer of 2019. That's OCGA 48531.1. Provides that the governing authority of Pickens County, Georgia may authorize the tax commissioner and a taxpayer to enter into an agreement for the prepayment of Valorem taxes. This same statutory provision provides that such an agreement shall be a binding contract enforceable by and against the local government and taxpayer. Whereas the tax commissioner of Pickens County, Georgia desires and has requested to have this authority. And now therefore be it resolved that is subject to the limitations of Georgia law and as provided herein, the Commissioner of Pickens County, Georgia, and the Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes and approves the Pickens County Tax Commissioner to enter into agreements with local taxpayers for the prepayment of ad valorem taxes on or after March 18th, 2021. This tax prepayment shall not be for more than 75% of the ad valorem taxes assessed on the property for the preceding tax year. Said prepayment shall be held in escrow account for the Pickens County Tax Commissioner and shall not be expended except for payment of taxpayers' ad valorem tax liability. So this resolution is simply to authorize them to do the early collection of taxes that can take place. So do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. So the next items that we have on our list are rezone requests. We do have a few of those, so we'll go through those in the order that they were received over from the Planning and Development Office. The first rezone request that we have is Parcel 014-00022, Big Ridge Road in Talking Rock, Georgia. Pickens County Planning and Development Office received a completed application on December the 17th from Miles Hansford and Tallant on behalf of RLF Talking Rock, LLC. requesting a change in the land use classification of agricultural to rural residential on a 278.48 acre tract located at Big Ridge Road in Talking Rock. Public hearing was held on March the 8th regarding the application. In the public hearing, the Pickens County Planning Commission voted 1 yes, 0 no. The motion failed upon the rezone request and no action was taken on this tract of land. During this time, we had permitted the applicant and the Land Development Office to supplement the record. And what I would like to do is ask for additional time for the board to be able to consider these filings that were in that additional information, and would move to postpone consideration of the application until our next board meeting on April the 15th. So we have an opportunity to review those conditions that were placed in there. So I'd like to make a motion to postpone that to the next board meeting. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move that one to next month. Next rezone request that we have in is for parcel number 034015003. It's at Carver Mill Road in Talking Rock, Georgia. The Pickens County Planning Development Office received an application on January the 8th from Michael Bray, the Tobe company, on behalf of Jeramy and Meggan Anderson, requesting a change in the land use classification of small agricultural to rural residential on 5.12 acre tract located at Carver Mill Road in Talking Rock, Georgia. The intended purpose of the rezone request was to change the zoning of this parcel in order to be consistent with zoning classifications adopted to the adjoining property owners, and for the purpose of using the property under rural residential. The Planning Commission voted 6 yes and 0 no to approve the rezone request of the 5.12 acre tract contained on the tax map. Do I have a motion to accept their recommendation to approve? In a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Alright, motion carries. So our next rezone request is a conditional use for parcel number 019015, the 136 connector in Talking Rock, Georgia. The Pickens County Planning Development Office received an application on January the 25th, 2021 from Gary, and I apologize if I mess up the name, Figelli, requesting a conditional use in the land use classification of agricultural to build 55 lot RV resort with 2 cabins on a 25.75 acre tract located at Highway 136 connector, Talking Rock, Georgia. The public hearing was conducted on the 8th of March, and following that hearing, the Planning Commission voted 4 yes and 0 no and 1 abstaining to deny the conditional use request on this tract of land. Do I have a motion to accept their recommendation to deny the conditional use request?
And so it was the 4 yes was to deny. Is that-
Yeah, the 4 were voted to deny. It's just phrased in the way that it worded. They voted 4 board members to deny, 0 no's and 1 board member abstained. So there were 4 votes to deny the conditional use request. We have Mr. Kilgore here, if there's any information from the record on there, if you have any questions that you wanted to direct in his path.
And it was with a conditional use. What were the conditions?
So the property is zoned agricultural, so you're allowed to have a RV park or a campground, and they're permitted in the agricultural district with a conditional use, and they're outright permitted in highway business zoning district. So they just have to come forward with a conditional use application to have one in agricultural. And so there weren't any, list of conditions that the planning commission had recommended for approval on that.
Any additional questions for Mr. Gilmore related to it?
And there's some recommendations made by some of the
All right,
plan development or Mark.
For conditional uses, because of the way their design is, basically it's an application that the board would recommend and y'all would make a decision on whether this is appropriate for that area. So it is allowable with your approval, but it's not allowable if it's not approved. So it's kind of one of those things where, is this appropriate for that area? And there's different criteria that are asked there in the application, but for conditional uses, the office does not normally recommend approval or denial because that's really ultimately up to the board on that, just because of the fact that it is a conditional use. So for this particular application, in the report, it asked for the planning commission to render a decision.
So in that decision, that was where they had the four voting to deny the conditional use, and then, as I said, one had abstained during that particular case. So do I have a motion to either accept or deny the conditional use request? Deny. So I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion related to that? All right, all in favor? Motion carries. Yeah, the uphold plan. All right, so our next rezone request was for a change in land use classification for parcel number 010-054 on Jones Mountain Road in Talking Rock. Application was received on January the 20th from Brody Bullard requesting a change in the land use classification from agricultural to rural residential on a 2.79 acre tract of lot on Jones Mountain Road in Talking Rock, Georgia. The intended purpose, if approved, was to change the zoning in order to build a single-family residence on the property. Public hearing was conducted on March the 8th, and in the public hearing, the Planning Commission voted 6 yes, 0 no to approve the rezone request of this 2.79 acre tract. Do I have a motion to accept and to approve the recommendation from the planning use to accept and approve the rezone request? Move to accept, and a second. And a second, okay. Any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor? Motion carries. And our final rezone request for the night is for parcel 069021, located at 86 Fincher Road in Ball Ground, Georgia. Pickens County Planning Development Office received an application on January the 25th from Marie Hyde requesting a change in the land use classification from highway business to suburban residential on a 10.51 acre tract located at 86 Finch Road in Ball Ground. The intended purpose, if approved, is to build a 7-lot minor subdivision. A public hearing was held on March the 8th regarding the application, and the Planning Commission voted 5 yes, 0 no to approve the rezone request with conditions on the 10.51 acre tract contained on the tax map. Do I have a move to accept their recommendation to approve this rezone request?
Can I ask what the conditions are?
Yeah, Justin, can you update on the conditions that were included?
Yes, sir. Just let me flip to it real quick.
Okay.
So the staff recommended conditions for this case were the right-of-way be acquired and dedicated for installation of water lines along Dove Street, and that the redesign of the layout would be required if not. The second one was the site plan be revised to eliminate Lot 5A. The applicant had discussed with the board and also with the water department, and basically the redesign of the layout will be required, is what's going to happen for the water lines. Water service will be provided to those lots. And then the site plan is going to be revised to remove that 5A lot, which was it was a billboard on there. And so the applicant agreed to combine 5A with lot 5. So both of the conditions have been met by the applicant, or will be met by the applicant, so.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. That is all of our rezone requests. So that brings us down to our guest comments section. So as we go through the room for any guest and comments, I also want to let anyone that's on Zoom know that in the bottom right corner of your screen, if you move your mouse, there should be a hand option that you can raise your hand. Or if you want to physically raise your hand, you can feel free to do that as well. So if you do have a comment, you're connected by Zoom, make sure to get the attention and we can unmute that. But first in the room, do I have any guest comments? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Roger Browning, and I want to thank the Commission for turning down the RV park.
Any other guest comments? Anyone on Zoom with a comment? The only one of you that's sharing your screen, so. All right, so any comments from the Board of Commissioners? All right, so then I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session. The purpose of going into executive session tonight would be to discuss or deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview candidates for executive positions. Do I have a move to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? We will go into executive session and we will be back.